The Yeti SCORE, one of Axial's most impressive designs to date, that's not a crawler. I've really enjoyed having one of these for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years now, and I've really enjoyed the platform. It's really awesome. It's really reliable. It's pretty fast on 3S. But I think it's time to give it a little love. So this is the 1/10 Axial SCORE Yeti trophy truck from Axial. Obviously, this was one of their release models before the buyout, and I think as of right now it might be discontinued, the RTR version, but you still be able to find those online, and I think they have the kit version available as well. But I've had this one for about almost 3 years, and it served me well, and I think it's definitely time to show it a little love. So I've kept the stock body. I've just put a couple stickers on it, a light bar, nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy, but I finally wanted to get a actual trophy truck edition, and what I mean by that is an actual livery from a real life driver. So I decided to go with the SOAR Graphics Rigid Industries wrap. So I picked it up on AMain for $49.99 plus shipping. Shipping was relatively quick and it arrived in about 5 business days. So for this build, I decided to go with the Proline Raptor 2017 body. This is specially made for the Yeti trophy truck, and it's actually one of the only few bodies that's out there besides the Retro, the original, and now they have this Proline body. So it should fit the dimensions pretty well. You will have to pre-cut this. And again, in addition with the body, I went with the SOAR Graphics. This is the Rigid Industries livery, and especially made for this body as well. Jay at SOAR Graphics is a really awesome dude, and kind of had a couple questions before I purchased, and he answered everything for me, so that was awesome of him and his customer service. So make sure you check him out. I'll leave the links down below for everything that I've used on this build so far. And then finally, just to add a little pizzazz, I got some Baja Design Squadron box lights for eBay. They're about 20 bucks shipped, and I will be using those on the top of the hood. So what are the tools that you need for this job? You need some Lexan scissors, you need a 1.5 and a 2.0 metric hex driver, and finally a heat gun. And I picked up this heat gun from my local Harbor Freight for $11.99. Awesome deal, and it's gonna serve its purpose for this build. So the first thing we're gonna do is remove everything. I gotta take off the light bar, I gotta take off the rear cage. We're gonna take the body off the chassis and set the chassis off to the side. So you can see these screws definitely need some loving, so we're gonna take care of those. First, you wanna start off by taking off your body. We're gonna set the chassis aside, so you just pull your pins for your body post. There should be 1 or 2 up here in the front, and then there's 2 back here in the rear. And pull those off, we'll set those aside. And I use this little tiny mat here to keep all my stuff. And the body should just pop off, so. Make sure we take any wiring out for the lights, so I'll take care of that. Now we're going to remove the back part of the cage, and there's 1 screw, there's 2 here, and then there's another 2 on the other side, and that'll pop it off. So starting from the outside, this is a 1.5 millimeter. We'll go ahead and pop that off. And again, right now we're not concerned with cleaning all this up. We will in a minute after we pull everything off. Your second one is located up here on the top here. I'm gonna go ahead and take off this the dual spares that I have back there. If you were using the regular Yeti, you would just pop this off here, and then you take off your 1 spare wheel. Now we have both sides removed. The last 2 screws that hold it in place are these 2 on top. And we're gonna go ahead and remove those as well. All right, and as you can see, now we are free from the body. See how much built up sand and dirt is in there. So you may have noticed these. These are some reservoirs that I made. They're fake, obviously. They just go attached in here. So once the body sits in here, it looks like they're coming directly from the shock to replicate a piggyback shock like the real trophy trucks. What I might do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and probably take off this radiator and then just kind of update it with the color. I used a silver tip Sharpie to color this in, so that's probably what I'll do to recolor it. And then I'll go through the cage, get it all cleaned up, and we'll continue on. All cleaned up, and we got the radiator patched up, and we're ready to move on to the next step. So the next step with this is actually the body. So we're gonna go ahead and take this body out. And again, this is the 2017 Ford Raptor from Proline. Again, the link will be down in the description below. Pretty much what we'll do is I'll trim all the wheel wells and cut all this excess Lexan out. and then we'll go ahead and remove the film on top and then put the wrap on. And I don't want to bore you with me cutting, so pretty much all you need are a pair of Lexan scissors that'll work for this. These are the curved ones. I like these because they're good for the wheel wells, and I can also hit these little turns and curves and stuff. They do sell different sets, so you can get them Tower Hobbies, eBay, Amazon, a bunch of different places. The body's all cut up now. We cut along the lines, we cut the fenders out. Really the most difficult part about cutting here was, this does give you a guideline on how to cut on the back, so that's not the issue. The issue was right here. As you can see, I kind of messed up a little bit, but that's only on the protective film on the outside, which I'm not concerned with. We're going to take it off anyways. But just getting this was kind of difficult. As you can see, I still got to go back through here with the Dremel a little bit and kind of straighten this line out. So now that we have everything trimmed up and everything is nice and straight, we're going to go ahead and remove the film. Now, I don't know if you've ever painted or dealt with Lexan bodies before, but this is one of the most satisfying things right here. Just peeling off this film, especially whenever you just finished a paint job. Your overspray film is all full of different colored paints and stuff, and you can really see how it's going to look like when you take it off. And since this is a Baja truck, I don't want any windows on it, so I am going to have to go back through and cut these out. Boy, was that difficult. I had a hard time taking this out. For some reason, I felt like the Lexan on the windows were really thick. So I tried to get it as best as I can, and hopefully the wrap will cover up where I did mess up a little bit. I think this window came out probably the best. And then here's the front as well. Let's get started on this wrap. So again, for this one, I chose a matte finish. This does come in glossy or matte finish, whichever one you want. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I felt like possibly I would see less scratches on the matte finish. But as you can see, it's a really nice, really thick vinyl. The good thing about this vinyl is you can reapply and reapply it. You know, if you mess up, you can take it off and reapply this. You know, that's why I get the heat gun, because it reactivates the adhesive for it. So I'm going to cut off all the pieces just to make sure I have the individual pieces. And this does come with some instructions on how to put it on, and he does give you some nice tips for as far as putting it on as well. Now, one thing that I do see is that he does recommend that you paint the bodies black, just so if there are any gaps left in the body, you can do that. Okay, so this is an optional step. You don't have to paint your body, but SCORE highly recommends that you do, just because every single piece is not going to line up exactly right. So before taking off your protective film, you can either paint your body, or in this case, you can paint it afterwards. I already took off the film, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and paint it. And again, the reason why SCORE does recommend, you know, it's not going to line up exactly on every single line. So what the black will do is kind of just fill in the gap. So from a distance, you won't be able to tell where the gaps are. And I used this Spastics paint, high gloss black, and I'll also leave that down in the description for you guys. And I've already spray painted this morning, so this one is ready to go, just kind of ready for the paint to cure before I can start doing the install. All right, so we have everything set here. Our body is now cured. We have our heat gun, and again, I cut everything off of the wrap, and I have it split up by left side and right side, and then the top. So we'll go ahead and get started on it. Before I do that though, I'm going to give one last wipe down to it just to take off any dust or anything that's in the way. Well, as you guys can see, I finally finished the wrap. Obviously, if you look through the time lapse, I did have a little bit of difficulty getting the wrap on. It's not so much the material itself. It's just I didn't realize this body has a lot of curves, a lot of indentations that you got to shape. And I mean, I think overall they didn't come out bad, but you could definitely see some bubbles here and there. But
Also, I couldn't get this to line up. It was either the black line on this side or the black line, as you can see, there's a little bit there, but I couldn't really get it 100%. But I think it came out pretty good. It looks pretty good. Everything went together pretty decently, I would say. The only place that I really had an issue with the entire wrap was right here. So the issue that I was having is if I started on this side and I curved it around the wheel well, and it wouldn't line up with the light, and vice versa. So I took it off and I started from the light and working this way, and I still couldn't get it to line up on this side, so the design wasn't lining up. So what I ended up doing was I cut right here. So once it came out about this, maybe 3/4 of the way, I just cut it diagonally, and it seemed to work pretty good. And I did the same thing for the other side, and it worked the same way. So just maybe something to keep in mind. Now we have everything screwed into place, and I can put the 2 tires in at a later time. So now that the holes are made and everything is set up with the cage, it's time to put it onto the chassis. Alright, and there we go. We replaced the old spares with some new ones. They're going to be a little bit less weight in the back, so these are a little bit clunky and heavy. Those are going to be a lot lighter, and they still look pretty scaled to this. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to install these, which are the 1/10 Baja Design Squadron lights. These are going to go right here on the front. So from the old body, I did have a light bar on there that I am going to take off and put onto the new one. Alright, and she is done. Lights installed, interior is in, light bar is up. Now the light bar might move at a later date. I feel like it's pointing too much upwards, but I didn't want to cover up the logo, so I might have to get a new bracket. But I have tried this light bar before, and it's really bright, so hopefully it shines enough to where I don't need to do that. But here we go, everything's installed. We got the new tires, the new wheels, the wrap install, new tires in the back, the lights up here, and the 2 box lights. I think this looks pretty good. So anyways, that's going to wrap up this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Don't forget to leave that like, subscribe, hit that notifications button, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching Flash Hobbies.